Welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
And we do this in every single car that we review. Halfway through, we stop and we answer questions about that specific model. People liked it, so we decided to do a standalone segment. And how do you take part?
Well, you just follow along at Motormouth_Andrea. I put up a post with us sitting just like this, and we gather questions. Once we have all our questions, I remove that post within 24 hours, and you just have to watch for it to come up on Instagram. If you don't have an Instagram account, no problem. Just enjoy the questions that are put forward. And Zach also does a live show on YouTube every Sunday, so you can get your questions in there.
Let's get at it.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Love your channel. Thank you very much. My question is similar to go a cut deeper, specifically your thoughts on car buying services offered by credit unions and Costco. We've actually never used them.
Yeah, well, Costco, from time to time, will have a different affiliation. I remember one time it was Ford, you get $1,000 off.
Yeah.
Volvo, they had that. I think it changes, and it's definitely got to do with jurisdiction. So it would be very different north and south of the border. But yeah, if there's any advantage you can get, especially in this market, take it.
Yeah, and the one great thing about Costco and that auto plan that they're offering right now is that it's fixed pricing. So if you don't like to go into a dealership where, there's a lot of markups, I think most of us don't like that, you can go through Costco. And Costco says there's about $1,000 savings on the vehicles. And like Zach says, I don't think all the brands are available. They do kind of specials with different brands that are participating, but $1,000 is $1,000. The only problem with it is that I think you have to do your own financing. You have to get pre-approved before you come through, unless you're paying cash.
Like we don't really know much about it, but there's something to look into for sure.
Looking for a midsize SUV, really don't need the third row, just need room for outdoor equipment. Suggestions.
Well, there's not a lot, right?
No, but the one that stands out for me that I really like is the Hyundai Santa Fe. Whether you get that turbocharged engine, the hybrid, the plug-in hybrid, it really is a comfortable vehicle.
Another one that's great is the Grand Cherokee.
Yeah.
It's really gotten big. It's almost too big. I like the previous model more. There's the Ford Edge still while it lasts. I keep hearing Ford is going to cancel it, but
still there on the site.
Still on the website. The Nissan Murano is another one. So there's not that many. The Lexus RX is another one. If you're looking for luxury, you can get a fairly nice size vehicle, but it's more expensive.
Definitely. Can you recommend a hybrid under $40,000 to $45,000 that can be purchased new with less than or equal to 3 months waiting period? No, we cannot recommend. Although
you had me up until the 3 months
I know,
waiting
right?
period.
Although a follower did say that he is able to get the Ford Escape Hybrid. So you could look into that one.
I like the Ford Escape Hybrid. I like it more than Andrea likes it. And they've updated it for 2023. It's got new exterior headlamps and grille. Same with the back, and they've updated the head unit to a much bigger head unit. So, and the quality scores have come up since this latest model was introduced. It's getting better and better.
One great thing about the Escape Hybrid is it gets excellent fuel economy. Keep in mind, Ford has had a couple rough years for reliability, but the Escape Hybrid has been out for quite some time. So all of those issues that it had in the past has improved. So I think that actually it might be a good vehicle to get if you don't have to wait.
I have no problem recommending the Escape. I think they did it drives really well. It's got best in class fuel economy, beating the RAV4. And quality is improved and the design has been updated. I say have a look.
And you can get it as an all-wheel drive option too. Which vehicle is the worst vehicle you ever experienced? For me, I don't have a worse vehicle. I think, there are things I like and things I don't like. But one that stands out for me, do you think you could guess what it would be for me?
I'm just doing an audit. I have my car, so I was thinking about my car.
Okay, so for me, it was the Jeep Compass.
Oh, the noise.
And that transmission.
What's that?
Can't hear you, Zach.
I can't hear it. She's a loud one. Yeah, no, but it was also the engine was really noisy.
And the engine.
They want to hear it again. They want to hear it again. All the way to the floor.
Well, hold on. Make a plan. See, it really struggles, even when you accelerate from a red light.
Did you hear that?
Wow.
I'm not sure if you heard that, because I heard it. Hit it, hit it, hit it.
Hasn't changed. It's still the same.
It hasn't changed. That's gold.
Yep.
Yeah, it was, and you know what? They've changed it for this year. So they finally, they listened because you couldn't hear anything over the noise. So mine goes way back to when I started reviewing cars in the 90s. I can't remember the name of it, but it was an Opel that they actually sold in North America. So this was a European car. It was a little 4-door hatchback, and I picked it up from the General Motors dealer, and it was winter, and it had sliders for heat. You know, you'd be cold at one end, hot at the other, and I moved the slider and it broke off in my hand.
No.
And I had no heat all week. And the thing was just a piece of crap. I can't even remember what it was. An Opel, was it a cadenza? Something like that. It was the biggest pile of junk.
So it's not around anymore.
No, I was around for 5 minutes.
Why do you think...
another one. Oh, sorry. Before,
Yeah.
another GM one
Yeah.
was a General Motors car that was developed, and the suspension was developed by Lotus. You guys might remember this. It was a 2-door hatchback, and it was just a piece of crap to drive.
Really?
And the thing was, the suspension, it was engineered by Lotus, was the worst part of the car. You'd go over the bumps and it would go like, it was terrible. I think it wasn't an Asuna. It was one of those funky brands that General Motors had in the 90s.
I'm too young to remember any of those.
I was just dating Andrea then.
Why do you think diesel trucks are way less common in the USA, Canada compared to most other countries? It's something called Dieselgate, and people are having a real hard time getting over it.
We're sitting in the middle of Dieselgate right now. We have a diesel Porsche Cayenne. We had a diesel Audi before that.
Actually, we had the Audi A7 diesel when Dieselgate hit.
Yes. So I was in Germany for the Frankfurt Motor Show and flew home, and I can tell you exactly the day because it's our son's birthday.
Yeah.
It was September 18th, 2015, and all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
And diesel sales at the luxury brands was really strong in Canada.
Really strong.
Because we have very high fuel prices here. Mercedes-Benz, 80% of their SUVs were diesel. The X5, they sold a huge number in diesel, and people love them. And then there's just like, it's just politically incorrect.
That was it. All the brands just started shutting it down. Some of them were also investigated, like BMW.
And Mercedes,
but they kind of, I feel like they got away with it because they just stopped making them quickly,
Well,
unlike the Volkswagen Group.
In US, they got away with it. In Germany, they did not. Mercedes-Benz, oh yeah, there was a price to pay for all of this. And at the back end of it all was Bosch, was a common feature. Because the scrubbing system for the emissions was developed by Bosch. And I don't know, we were supposed to get another settlement from Bosch.
From the Audi.
Never got a check on that one. Still waiting on that one.
So I think really that's it, why diesel is done here in North America.
But diesel is perfect for pickup trucks and delivery vehicles where torque is important, range is important. You want to tow a boat for 500 miles or 700-800 kilometers. You'd want a diesel pickup.
And that's the thing, even our vehicle, it goes, I don't know, around 800 kilometers per one tank of diesel. I mean, it's pretty amazing fuel economy what we get on this. So we like it. We obviously had to get ours tuned. It was fixed because of the emission scandal.
Mm-hmm. You can't get another one. And you know what? These are highly collectible now.
I know. What do you think is the most significant new car trend or development in the current automotive market, not counting EVs, because I'm on board with Zach about that? Zach doesn't hate EVs.
No.
He really doesn't.
Here's my whole thing on electric vehicles. I don't live in an ideology. I live in reality. And the reality is, for many people, they're just too expensive. that's enough of that.
That's what we say.
What's the
Too
big trend?
expensive.
I think the big trend for me, and one that I really like, is the evolution of the interior has making, outside cars, they look a certain way, but the inside, man, the products that are coming from some of the cheaper brands, fantastic.
Yeah, and I think the added wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, that's made a difference to people. Now there's autonomous driving, which is pretty cool. They've done so much. I mean, it just keeps getting better and better. Every time we get into a new vehicle, I'm always surprised by
the level of
technology.
Yeah, the level of
really
technology
incredible.
is amazing.
Will your sons take over your channel one day? Do they have any interest?
They've got zero interest. They've got less than zero interest. It's just frustrating. I'm just going to say one thing quickly. I was talking to Roman from the Fast Lane Car and Truck, and his son Tommy is doing a nice job of taking over and doing an excellent job. And I talked to Roman and I said, I wish our sons were interested. You pass this on to your son, and they got no interest.
So our sons say, well, why do you guys have to have an automotive channel? Why couldn't you have like a sports channel? Because we don't do sports. That's why we do automotive. So they don't really have any interest in cars. We get 2 new vehicles a week. Non-luxury, luxury. I mean, you can have a 911 sitting outside.
They don't care.
They just don't care. We had
their friends care.
We had a BMW 2 Series in purple, and one of their friends said, "Oh my God, is that your parents' car?" And our youngest, Charlie, is like, I don't know, what car are you talking about? Like, they just don't pay attention to what is out there.
Okay, so one of them will go with a friend in their car, and they'll say, oh, I was out with so-and-so, and I was driving in their car, and I'll say to them, well, what kind of car was it? Like, for me, as a car person, the first thing I would go, oh, you're driving as such and they're like, I don't know. I don't know what it was. I mean, how can you drive in it? You don't even know what it is.
Didn't you see the badge?
And I don't know. The whole thing is to get them up to speed, to know the history and the background and all of that about the auto industry. It's just, you actually have to be passionate about it. And if you're not passionate about it, and you don't know, the biggest thing about cars is you have to know the history. And if you don't know the history, you're dead.
So that's a no. Do you think?
We could adopt somebody that's interested in cars?
No. You know what? Zach and I are just going to do it until we're super old. So you guys are all stuck with us.
It'd be like this. We're driving like this. Huh? What are key standard features?
You know what we're going to do, though, one day, when we're older, and let's say we're not doing as many cars a week, we're going to do like a lifestyle piece.
Travel.
Yeah, we're going to do a whole travel thing.
Come with us to Spain.
It's going to be super fun. You wait and see. We have big plans.
We're going to rent and review rental cars.
Yeah, we thought that would be kind of cool, right?
Get some get a crappy Opal where the thing doesn't work.
Do you think hybrid options are coming for the Subaru lineup? It's funny, a lot of people will say, do you know anything about this or that? But brands don't like to talk to us about future products. And I've asked Subaru about this. And they say, well, we can't really talk about that right now. I think most definitely it's coming. I mean, Subaru has never said that they're going to go straight EV. So I think so. And of course, the rumor is Subaru is going to do something with Toyota, but nothing's been confirmed by either brand. How good is the CX30 GS model? Is it worth the bucks?
The CX30 GS, so that's not the top turbo.
No, that's the non-turbo 2.5 liter.
Yeah, the 2.5 liter in the CX30 is fantastic. Yeah. I got a quick story for you. We were filming it, and when the car goes by the camera, I have the headphones in, and Andrea's talking through the speakers and the Bluetooth, and she's like, "Oh my God!" Because we had picked it up. I picked it up the day before. Yeah. She goes, "Oh, I just love this turbo," and I said, "Oh no. That's not the turbo. You were so surprised by how snappy it was."
I couldn't believe it that I said to Zach, that non-turbo engine is so good that I would be happy with it.
So the GS is all good.
GS is great. So in Canada, it's just over $30,000 less in the US. And it's got 191 horsepower and 186 pound-feet of torque.
It's a great little car.
And I think it's wonderful.
The only downfall of the CX30, it's way too small in the back seat and the cargo area. If it's just you bombing around or with your significant other, have at it.
Any signs of supply issues improving anytime soon? So difficult to get new HEVs, PHEVs, EVs, and likewise the used car market for these types.
Yeah, well, you know what? We just had a report out that said that February there was some very, very strong sales numbers in the Canadian market.
Yeah.
We're starting to see some slowdowns in the United States, but there's so much pent-up demand from all of these cars not coming to the market. There were millions of cars missing from worldwide production because of the chip shortage and supply chain. So there's lots of people waiting for their cars. I think I would say the acid test is going to be the fall.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say about this. You talk to different brands and obviously they're hoping for improvements and they kind of say end of the year. I was speaking to one brand and he was saying with interest rates so high, as people wait so long to get their vehicle, as they come in, they may not be able to afford them at that time because they've waited so long and they were told initially that maybe their interest rate was going to be 4% and then the vehicle comes in and now it's at 9% and they just can't afford that monthly payment anymore. So that's going to create inventory. But I had hoped that things would already be better now and they're not.
Yeah, we're not seeing it. In some instances, like General Motors has a lot of pickup trucks and full-size trucks. They really focused on that during this chip slowdown because that's where they make most of their money, right? So they focused on that. So if you want a full-size truck, there's some availability of that. So back to Andrew's point about interest rates, and people ordered a car and they could have got it at 2%, now it's 9%. So the smart brands are actually saying, order your car now and lock in this attractive interest rate. I saw one on YouTube for Ford. I think it was 4.9%. Order your car or truck now. When the car comes in, you'll get it at that special price.
How is that possible to lock it in? I don't understand
because they have their own captive finance arm. So Ford finances it themselves. So they're able to say, if you sign up and order the vehicle, whatever the price is today at 4.9%, that's what you'll get when you get your car. That's quite clever.
Yeah, it's clever, but most brands aren't doing that. We've got a follower. He ordered a Toyota RAV4. It was 4%. He's now waited a long period of time. It's come in. I think he said it was almost 8%. And he asked the dealership, why can't you honor it from before? He says, we can't do that.
Yeah, so that Ford thing is a promotion. It's not for everything. It's a promotion.
What are a couple of your must-haves in a new vehicle and why? I know mine.
Oh, it's got to be, well, I'll go through, it's not
all
just
the
a couple.
basics,
It's heated seats, heated steering wheel, power lift gate. Those are the things that got to have.
For us, we don't care about ventilated front seats, heated
we're in
rear
Canada.
seats. We never sit in the back, really. I mean, obviously, it's a nice thing to have. For me now, it's really wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I want that, especially if I'm buying a new vehicle that I'm planning to keep for a long period of time. The tech is changing quickly. So that's one feature that I really look for. I know that you can get a dongle and you can use that and you can plug it in and you can get wireless. But I just think if you're buying a brand new vehicle, and vehicles are expensive, that wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto should be a standard feature.
On the safety front, the good news, I can't even think off the top of my head of a new product that's in the market that doesn't have forward collision warning with autonomous braking.
Yeah.
So that's an essential safety feature that warns you when the traffic in front stops. All the other aids I don't think are essential. The forward one for sure.
Now, what about a tire repair kit or a temporary spare tire?
Depends how you drive. Listen, if you're driving in the city all the time and you're driving like only half an hour away from your house, if you get a flat and you can't fix it or change it or whatever, you can get somebody to look after you, right?
Yeah.
But if you're out in the countryside and you drive hours away from big urban areas, I want a real spare tire.
Yeah, and the issue with EVs is that everything comes with the tire repair kit. So we all talk about range and we need enough range for our road trips. None of them have a temporary spare tire. Are Lexus SUVs much better than others, or is it just a name thing? I've never even ridden in one, but I am considering.
Well, I think the reputation is there and the quality scores are there.
Oh,
so
there.
If you're wanting to buy something and not think about it and just pay the maintenance every year, a Lexus is a very good choice. But if you're thinking it's some wow experience, it's not that. It's all about peace of mind.
Yeah, and I think that's it. your number one concern is reliability. The recent JD Power Dependability Study came out for 2023, and guess who's number one? Lexus.
All right, I think we're all done here. Let us know what you think, and what's the number one thing they can do, Andrea?
How about subscribe and hit that notification bell? You'll be notified when all of our reviews drop. Follow along at Motormouth_Andrea on Instagram to get your questions in when we put a post out for questions, coffee, and cars.
All right, and if you don't follow along on Instagram, I do a live show on Sunday evenings.
Yep.
You can get your questions in live, and that's all the time we have, and we'll see you next time.